All right. Well, welcome again, everybody. Thank you to our panelists for being here, and thank you for all of our attendees for being here as well. I figured a good way to get started would be for all of our panelists to give some quick introductions on the call. So panelists, if you could tell us your name, as well as your position within the organization that you're representing, and then finally your classification as a student, that would be wonderful. So we'll go ahead and get started. Do we have any reps from the American Cancer Society?
Yes, Jillian Reardon. I am the president of operations within the American Cancer Society on campus. I'm a junior, and my major is social work with a minor in disaster science. Also, I apologize if any point you hear background noise. They're doing work on our street.
All right, do we have any reps from LAMBDA here?
Hi, that's me. I'm Lavina. So it's a little different for LAMBDA. We don't really have positions, but I'm one of the graduate students that helps to lead the group. And I'm technically I think I'll be a 6-year graduate student in the PhD program in clinical psych. So it's a little bit different, but I'd be more than happy to talk about it a little later. So, hello.
I'm Gianna Schutz. I'm a senior. I'm with the Ole Miss Food Bank. I'm the chair of campus outreach, and I'm also on the community outreach committee, and I'm a double major in managerial finance and theater arts.
I'm Linus Farlow. I'm president of Real Food Rebels. I'm a senior and majoring in international studies and environmental studies.
Hey y'all, my name's Ashton Murrah and I'm majoring in biomedical engineering. I'm the vice president of the Students United with America's Tooth Fairy. I'll be a senior this fall and I just submitted my application to dental school. So I'm pretty excited to share with y'all about what all this organization has and helped me.
All right, thanks panelists for answering that question. We're gonna move on to question number 2 for everybody, which is, tell us about the purpose of your organization, whether you wanna share your mission, your vision, or your values, that would be great. And also what contributions you believe that your organization makes on campus.
So the American Cancer Society on campus, our mission is just trying to get people more involved with, cancer and just more on have a better understanding of how it affects people. Everybody's affected, whether they've personally have had it or they have a family member or a friend who's had it. So we have a couple events throughout the year where we all just kind of get together and we either fundraise money, we have Relay for Life in the spring, and then we kind of just we'll have meetings, and this year we're planning to have a speaker come. I think it's once a month, just to inform us about whatever the topic is. I know we've been thinking that, for example, September's Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, so we were thinking about having either a cancer survivor come speak or just talk about being aware that it really does affect everybody, and it's cool. Personally, I'm a cancer survivor myself, and so one of my goals is to try and bring in some more survivors, but I know that not all survivors are very vocal about it, which is totally fine. But we just want to make people aware that students around us have had it, have have had some sort of impact by it. So we just want to make everybody like comfortable with the fact that, you know, it's all around us.
And I'm here representing LAMBDA. So LAMBDA is actually a support group for LGBTQIA students on campus. So it's a little different than I think a typical organization, just because it's not like, in terms of membership, you just can show up whenever you want. We have like a mailing list that you can join if you're interested. And we also have a group me for members to stay in touch. But really our purpose is just to have a space for students who identify as LGBT and queer in general. We can come talk. We also do some fun things together, but it's just supposed to be a supportive environment. So we talk about anything, you know, ranging from class struggles and roommates and getting support on how to address those issues, as well as some more unique challenges that a lot of people face being a member of the LGBT community. So it's just kind of having a supportive network of people and being able to build your community while you're here at Ole Miss. So that's a little bit about what we do here.
I'm with the food bank again, and so our goal is to help alleviate campus hunger for students, staff, and faculty. The food bank is very unique because it offers these free. So we offer free food. So we have frozen food, canned food, fresh food, hygiene products, and feminine products. You probably don't know your way quite around campus yet, but the food bank is located on campus, very close to the dorms, kind of by the Papa John's. It's kind of a good home base to know where it is. And you can get involved with the food banks. You can help volunteer, but it's also really important to know that you can use this resource yourself. Food insecurity is a very big problem that a lot of students face, and that can just be like maybe only having like $2 in your bank account at the end of the week, but you still need to have dinner. So it can be a wide range of like levels of need, but it is a free resource for all students, faculty, and staff at the university.
Again, I'm with the Real Food Rebels, and I wanted to start by saying that this organization is in its first 2 months of operation. So everything that I discuss and goals that I state are proposed plans, things that we've thought about, but not necessarily things that have been implemented yet, which I think like makes this organization really cool, is that it's getting off the ground, and the change that you want to see can be the change that this organization makes. And it's very fluid in its goals, but it's very similar to the food bank. It's seeking to address food security issues in our community, but in the sense that the food bank is actually providing food, we're working at it from a different angle of creating policies on campus through student organizations like ASB, and assisting community members in or faculty especially, in their food security work. There's a number of organizations throughout the state that we wanted to partner with. And basically the goal of the organization is just to provide education about food security in the state of Mississippi, which is one of the most, if not the most secure places in the United States. And to just engage students in that and work for more localized food sources on campus and dining facilities. But yeah, I'm really excited to watch this organization grow and a movement. And I hope you guys want to work with us.
Hey, so Students United with America's Tooth Fairy is a community service-based organization. Our mission is to eliminate children's preventable pain and suffering from pediatric dental diseases and to improve the quality of life for at-risk children. We fulfill our mission by organizing toothbrush and toothpaste donation drives, like in sorority houses, fraternity houses, all through campus. And we go to after-school programs like Leapfrog and the Boys and Girls Club to teach about oral health to children around Lafayette County. They're all elementary school age children, so it's so much fun just to see how their face lights up whenever we give them a new toothbrush or toothpaste. They're so excited, and they look up to college kids, and so it's a great experience.
All right, awesome. Moving on to question 3, which is, what is your favorite thing that your organization does each year, whether that's an event or a program? We'd love to hear what you really like about what your organization does on campus.
So for ACS, like I mentioned before, we have something called Relay for Life. It's held in April, sometimes dates may vary. And basically people will sign up with a team, and then they'll have a team leader and then the rest of the participants. And each participant, each member of the team will raise money, and whether that's going door to door or Facebook fundraisers. I've personally had success with Facebook fundraisers. I just share a bunch of pictures of me when I was going through treatments. And everybody's like, oh my God, so cute. But I just love doing Relay for Life. The actual event, everybody comes together, all the teams, and we either have like different foods like cupcakes, pizza at each station, and then I've done a couple Relay for Lives, and one of them we had different games, and then we have a survivor dinner that all the survivors go to, and we all just talk. It's really fun. And then there's a survivor lap where all the survivors just walk around, and we all laugh because it's kind of embarrassing, but it's fine. And then throughout the night there are games and competitions, and it's really fun because we all just get to bond and like talk to each other and hear everybody's story of how cancer has affected their lives. And then there's a couple raffles, and then last year we did I don't know what they're called, but you light them and they float up into the sky and they like float away. They're really cool. They're like lanterns or something like that. And then we have a luminaria ceremony, and basically luminaria bags are $10, and they're in memory or in honor of someone who has had cancer, and they light them around the area we're in, and it's really cool, and it's really like personal to a lot of people, and yeah, that's one of my favorite ones that we do.
Hi. So this one's kind of a harder one to answer just because there's a few things that I really love that LAMBDA does. I think the best thing, or my most favorite thing that we've done, is that we participate in the Pride event every year together. So we all walk together as an organization, and usually the meeting before that we'll take the time to make our own signs. So that's like a really big community thing that we do together, is that we make our own signs and then we walk in Pride. Unfortunately, this year it was canceled because of COVID. So that was kind of a bummer, but then we kind of did our own like Pride night on our Zoom meeting and things like that. But we also do other smaller events. So we've done, for example, a field trip to Water Valley where there's an LGBT queer bookstore called Violet Valley. We also do craft nights and things like that. So last year, or maybe it was the year before, we did like a Valentine's for each other for Valentine's Day. We've also like planted little seeds and flowers and things like that as like a craft night. And the last favorite thing that I think we do that I really enjoy is we do movie nights. So we kind of throw ideas out and then vote on like an LGBT movie and then watch it together. So we usually do that like, once a semester or something like that. So those are just some of the events that we've done that I've really enjoyed.
So each year around Thanksgiving, we hold this event called Thanksgiving, like food bank, Thanksgiving, because the need around Thanksgiving, especially going into Christmas and the winter holiday, is really great for students and faculty and staff. So we have this huge competition on campus. Academic schools, organizations, fraternities, sororities, everyone is invited to take part. Last year, I believe the School of Education actually won, and it's just a campus-wide, very big food drive. Oh, the dorms also participate. So we put donation bins, we give them to the dorms, to the different academic schools, to different organizations, and we have a week-long push for these groups to donate, and the winner gets a gift card, which is very exciting. But this is really like the biggest fundraising push that we have. That's how we get the majority of a lot of the food that we give out over the holidays. And it's really fun. We have like social media competitions and daily competitions between all the different organizations and campus departments, but it's fun. It's usually the week before Thanksgiving break, and the whole campus gets to take part, which is really great.
Hey, so as I said earlier, we are a new organization, so we haven't had any previous years that I talked to you guys about. And with the new year coming up, I mean, who knows how much in-person stuff will be able to happen. But one thing that we had talked about is, so Ole Miss every year in the fall will put on a on-campus like farmers market, but we wanted to work with them and expand that the local farmers and like have it be more accessible to more students and faculty on campus, not only because like localized produce is so healthy and fresh and good for your body, but also because we wanted to open that dialogue of like students interacting with the people who produce their food and helping to engage community members in students' life, but also students in the people who are producing food right around them. So yeah, I mean, with COVID, who knows if that will be able to happen this year, but I feel really like I really want to see that sort of partnership develop as the years go on and as things normalize, hopefully.
Hey, so I kind of touched on this already before, but one of the big events that we do is we do oral health presentations at after school programs. So I love getting to spend time with the first graders at Leapfrog. I love the younger kids. They love college kids and they want to sit in your lap and they want to be just like you. So when you get to tell them to brush their teeth for 2 minutes or floss once a week, then they will too, because they want to be just like you. It's so much fun to see how excited they get just to receive a new toothbrush or to tell us what foods are healthy and unhealthy and to be involved in the interactive presentation. We try and go to the after school programs once a semester just to provide them with a toothbrush and encourage them to visit their dentist. And we send them home with a coloring sheet in hopes that they'll tell their parents about the information that they learned. But with the whole coronavirus situation, we aren't sure what all we'll be getting to do at the after school programs in person, but we have been working on trying to do some kind of virtual presentation that we could just share with the after school programs that they could share with the students, and we'll still do a donation drive and try and get the toothbrush and toothpaste to the students throughout this semester.
Awesome, thanks everybody. Next question, why should a new student join your organization, attend some of your events, or in general, just take advantage of some of the services that you offer as an organization?
So sorry I'm late. I just got in from another meeting, but I'm with CAC. My name's Nonix. I'm the president. But basically, I'd say that the first great reason is that it's free. So a lot of clubs do have membership fees, but main thing about CAC that it's, or ACS on campus, sorry, we just switched our name, is that it's free. Second, if you're looking to build some transferable skills for your resume, it's a great club. And finally, if you or someone in your life has been affected by cancer, it's a wonderful way to give back and sort of pay a tribute to them. And as well, I'd like to say that we have tons of high-level positions available to new freshmen, so you can step in immediately and make an impact.
Yeah, going off of that, it's also just a great way to meet people, and you know, we're all pretty chill. But it's, I personally would say that like those survivors who don't necessarily want to come forward right now, I think it's a great way to meet people who, you know, have been through cancer in one way or another, and it's just like a great place. You know, it's a judgment-free zone, so we'll welcome anybody really.
So a few reasons why students who are interested should join LAMBDA. One, we traditionally, I think Ole Miss hasn't always been very inclusive of the LGBTQ community, and this has been shifting in more recent years. But For students who aren't out yet or who don't feel comfortable having other people know about their sexual orientation or gender identity, this is somewhere that they can be open and expressive about who they are. And so that kind of creates an ability to be vulnerable with other people. So that's one of the reasons why LAMBDA, exists and why we have this organization. In addition, in terms of why, is that it is kind of hard to find that supportive environment. And, you don't always know who you can talk to. And so having, a good network of people that you can turn to and you can rely on is really important, not just for your own mental health, but also for you to do well and succeed as a student at Ole Miss. So these are just some of the reasons why I'd encourage you to join. And we don't have any fees or anything like that. So it's really just welcome to anyone.
So firstly, if you need to take advantage of the food bank services, please do. We are here to be a resource for you as a student. If you are ever facing any kind of food security issue, the food bank is here to help you. That is the purpose of our organization. So please do not feel shy about stopping by and grabbing something. But also if you want to volunteer with the food bank, especially right now during the COVID pandemic, a lot of people have lost jobs. There's a lot of lost income that a lot of people are facing. Right now we're doing grab and go bags at the food bank. So we have volunteers who are packing up the bags and kind of leaving them outside so you can have more of a contactless experience. So we do need volunteers to help stock, to help work, and to help provide that service for people. So especially more than ever, a lot of staff members' families, a lot of students' families have gone through a lot of financial turmoil, to say, and so this resource is needed, I would say, more than ever, especially with the environment that we're living in right now.
Yeah, going on what Donna said, COVID has definitely exposed a lot of cracks in some food security systems for a lot of people. And in the way that the food bank is working on a campus level, we also want to work in that in a different space. So like things like Aramark, where they laid off like 90% of their staff and they're this multi-billion-dollar company. Like we need that sort of accountability with the companies that are operating on the Ole Miss campus. And so yeah, I think that being a part of that movement, especially in a time like right now, shows that the Ole Miss student body isn't just going to sit by while these like mass operations aren't giving us nutritional food at a low price and are also not treating their workers justly. And then also, I've said this 4 times, but it is a new organization, and we work on the food policy initiatives that you want to work on. So if you're super passionate about X issue and you see a room for improvement or a space where you could work, like we are more than welcome to create a position and support you in whatever you want to do. So yeah.
Hey, so I think new students should definitely join the Students United with America's Tooth Fairy. You don't have to be pre-dental or pre-med we welcome any majors. I remember as a freshman on campus, I felt so uninvolved and lost, but I didn't want to overcommit before I even knew how much time I would need to spend studying and everything else. Sorry. It's not a large time commitment at all. We do maybe 2 presentations a semester, and with it being virtual, we can probably pre-record those, and that would take so much less time. We have meetings once a month, which it looks like those might be virtual this year too. This is the perfect opportunity to spend time encouraging and teaching the younger generation at these after-school programs. If you don't have time to commit to being a tutor every day at an organization like that, it's a great opportunity to meet older people with older students in similar majors as you or with similar interests so that you can make connections and learn from their experiences.
All right, awesome. Question number 5. What have you learned by being a part of your student organization, whether that's some sort of transferable skill, job skills, people skills? We'd love to hear more about what you have learned by being a part of your organization.
Probably with CAC is how to sell yourself. Before I was president, I worked on the sponsorship side of the organization, and I had to sell the organization to potential donors, reaching out to like local business leaders, that type of thing. And so this really taught me how to sell the organization, and in turn that really helped me how to sell myself. So in job interviews, this helped me like dramatically. I was able to sell myself overall, answer tough questions, and it helped me land internships like I'm working out right now.
Yeah, for me, the people skills is really what's grown personally. This is my first year really like getting involved with membership, but like I said, I've done Relay for Life before. Just like being able to talk with people and really connect with them, and just really, we talk with everybody at the Relay for Life events. There are people like all different ages, so it's really nice when like you just like talk to someone random who you would have like never met before, and you kind of just like hear their life story, and that's useful in life too. You just like have the confidence to go up to someone and say like, hey, I hope you have a great day, or go up to someone in your class and just like start getting to know them, and you get potential new friends out of it.
So for LAMBDA, I'd say one of the biggest things is people skills, and beyond that, just also learning how to be a supportive listener. I think so many times when someone comes to us and they're struggling, we want to help and do something, but really just being able to be there and present and listen and just be supportive is something that I think I've really learned to do better. Another thing that we've really learned within LAMBDA is positive coping strategies. So this whole COVID thing has been really stressful for a lot of students, as you can imagine. I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way. We're still meeting on Zoom throughout the semester. We're in spring. So, being able to talk about some of those stressors of being back at home, being laid off, or any of the other things that came up that were related to COVID or were not. So that was a really great way in terms of like learning different coping strategies and real life, like mental health skills as well.
For me personally with the food bank, I have learned a lot of communication skills. Last year, I was the chair of the fundraising and events committee, so I was in charge of that campus-wide food drive. So I did a lot of communicating with different departments and different organizations. And now I'm the chair of campus outreach, so my job is just to communicate with other people about the food bank. So I've had to learn effective communication just to get the word out, and how to best display the food bank and get people to understand our services and where we are. I think food bank wise in general though, we've learned that we have to be accessible pretty much 24/7. This is such an important resource that students and our campus relies on. And in the COVID crisis, we had to figure out how to still be available and be there no matter what for our campus. So we've had to learn kind of how to be accessible in all different ways, in all different manners.
Hey, so I think the biggest thing that I've learned so far has been like 100% just like learning learning more about this issue and how it affects us at a local as well as global scale, and how the food system is in so many ways unjust and unfair to the people who are a part of it, from the people who are growing the food to the people who are eating it. But then also, and in getting this organization off the ground, contacting faculty and staff who work in the nutrition department and who work in hospitality management and even like the pharmacy department, learning about the incredible wealth of knowledge on this issue available like simply on a campus community level has been really, really cool. And I think it's awesome to be able to use organizations on campus to invest in your community or your state broadly. So that's, I hope, like a skill that would be honed in on throughout like your time at Real Food Rebels.
So being a part of this organization has really taught me the importance of encouraging and teaching about oral health. Although parents more than likely tell their kids to brush their teeth, hearing it from a college kid, like I've said already, that makes them think that that's the cool thing to do, and it leaves a lasting impact. So let's use that opportunity that we have in these 4 years being college kids to impact children but also being invested in growing this organization was such a good talking point for my dental school application. And but please, please, please remember, do not join an organization just to strengthen your resume. I think everybody on this call would agree with me. Join because you support the cause, and you'll end up being so much more involved. I think that you get out what you put in. So join an organization that intrigues you and fits your interest and that you'll want to get invested in.
Thanks, everybody. Let's hear about your membership experience within your organization. So could you speak more to what that membership experience looks like throughout the year, and what are some qualities of your current active members?
I'd say with regards to ACS, it really depends on the route you take. So we have two primary routes. It's either committee side or just the general membership route. So on the committee side, you'll be working, but not really working, but be more involved hands-on with planning of events, reaching out to community members, etc. On the general member side, you'll be attending meetings, learning about cancer, meeting doctors, stuff like that. You can do just about anything with this organization. It just depends on you. I would have to say some of the qualities of our active members are just people that are all about cancer. In reality, I mean, that sounds weird, but you have some sort of deeper level connection to it. You know someone, or you've been personally affected by it. And so that inspires you to volunteer for the organization. We can't really in some way enhance your volunteering drive. It's more about what you personally feel you get out of the organization. I have to agree with what Ashton said. Don't join an organization just because of something that it's going to put on your resume. You won't be very committed to it. You'll just simply be there just to check it off on a box. Join something that personally affects you in some way or another, and that's the way that you're going to join something that you'll like.
Yeah, so going off of that, on the side of general membership, depending on what guidelines are for social distancing and stuff like that, we are hoping to introduce some sort of like potluck or service project, getting involved around Oxford, and then hopefully branching out to like Memphis and maybe go to St. Jude's, something like that. I don't really know, but we definitely want, or the hope is that, we all get to know each other and we have some sort of service aspect for it, just to add in a little bit more activities. And I think it's super important to get involved in the community around us. And, all of the members who I've had conversations with recently, they're all super down to earth, and they'll genuinely care. If you absolutely need anything, like go to them, stuff like that.
So for our members, it really depends on you and what you want and how busy you are, of course. So we meet once a week, typically throughout the fall and spring semester. So we will be moving that online to Zoom just to comply with some of the university standards, but we are still going to be meeting for fall. So usually that occurs like on one of the weekday nights from like 5:30 to 7. So members can kind of just drop in when their schedule allows it. So some semesters you might have a class at that time that interferes, and so we won't see some people, but usually it's just kind of as needed, depending on you. So maybe you're having a rough week that week, feeling really overwhelmed by things going on at home or with school, and so you want to have a place where you can talk, and so you can just stop by. We also have members who stop by for like more of our event kind of day. So like if we're doing a craft night or a movie night, or we're doing like a field trip or something like that, then they might come and participate in some of those more social events. It really just depends on you. Yeah.
So I guess we don't really have members for the food bank. We have volunteers and then our leadership committees. So if you are interested in volunteering for the food bank, number one, please follow our social media. I'm gonna send the in the chat. We're at Ole Miss Food Bank. So in order to be a volunteer, you first have to attend a training session. So we'll be putting out when those fall training sessions will be on our social media soon. We have one usually monthly, but then there will be a few more at the beginning of August for students who are interested in getting involved right from the start. I'm not sure if those will be virtual or not. I assume they probably will, but you do have to attend a training session. And then after you attend a training session, you'll kind of weekly get an email blast asking if you want to sign up for a time to come in and volunteer each week. So each week you can volunteer for a different time, whatever fits in your schedule, however long you want to volunteer. So that will be sent out weekly after you attend one of those training sessions. In the spring, if you're interested in serving in a leadership position with the food bank, we have our chairs, our committees, our leadership position application come out. So if you're interested in serving, say, on fundraising events or maybe helping staff or stock the food bank, anything that you're interested in helping in a leadership position, those applications go out in the spring. But again, I highly recommend, number one, following us on social media so you can find out when our training sessions are so you can start to get involved and volunteer with us.
So the way that we imagined our membership working would be members divided up into 3 categories with administrative, and each is based on a level of food security engagement that you are most interested in. So there's administrative work that we want to do, which would involve auditing the Ole Miss food purchasing based on the national real food standards and guidelines for how much food is ecologically sound, humane, fair, and locally based. And based on that audit, we would be able to work with people like the chancellor or other faculty and staff to gauge interest and to make policies on campus food at that level. And then we also wanted to do community engagement, which would involve, so a few pharmacy professors got this massive grant to work on food security in Tallahatchie County, Mississippi. And so engaging in things like that, or perhaps like working with the Oxford School District on food security education for elementary students, things like that would be under community engagement. And then lastly, campus engagement. And we hoped that that would work with organizations like the Food Bank and Garden Club and ASB to create and just to unite students around food security who do have interest in it. But with that being said, as I mentioned earlier, if you're super passionate about something I did not mention, we want to support you in your work, and we hope that all of our members would want to work in some sort of aspect of that.
So our membership experience is really a minimal time commitment. And like I already said, you kind of get out what you put in. If you want to be extremely involved, there are opportunities for that. We are also a newer organization, just beginning over the last 3 or 4 years. So as a freshman coming in, there are opportunities for leadership positions. If you want to be very involved and be a leader in the organization, there's opportunities. But also, if you just want to be a member and participate, that is perfectly fine. And there is a $25 fee to join, but that you get a t-shirt that we will wear at all the presentations. And for our meetings, we usually have meals once a month, so that cost is covered. Most of our active members are pre-dental students, but not all of them. I have convinced some of my friends to join that are not even pre-health majors, so it is really open to anybody, and we would love to have you.
All right. Next question is, where do you see your organization going in the next few years, and how could potential new members of your group help get it there?
We're pursuing our goal to become a premier organization on campus. We've been around for a few years, but we've always been sort of small, sub 50 members. And so we want to really push hard to grow our club on campus as well as grow our fundraising amounts. So I would say that new members have a chance to join leadership early, climb up the ranks, and build great skills within a few years. Some organizations are really top heavy currently, so it could be a few years before they get in, but with CAC, you can step in and start helping out immediately. We have positions available, and they'd be an integral part of making, large decisions. right away, not just simply sitting around for the first few years.
Yeah, so another way that new members can help is, just honestly bringing in your friends with you. That's super important. If you really like the organization, invite your friend and maybe they'll like it, and then you guys can go together, and it'll be fun. And I definitely think that over the next few years, like Noah said, we can have that, um, you know, growth of membership, and I think that's super important too.
Yeah, so similarly, we're always looking to expand our organization and provide more support if we can. I'm just going to put our email address out here. So if anyone is interested in joining our mailing list, you can just feel free to email us and be added to our mailing list. But we're kind of more of a word of mouth organization. We do some flyering, and we like promote ourselves through various departments and classes. But if you know someone who might be interested in LAMBDA, please tell them about us. Please send us, have them send us an email to join our mailing list. We have grown a lot in the last few years, and it's been really great to see more students be able to get support that they need and they deserve on campus. And that's been really helpful to also see how that affects, their ability to interact with other people, as well as do better in school and things like that. So it's really great to see, and I hope that people continue telling their friends and roommates and classmates and everyone they know about LAMBDA. So please help us spread the word if you can.
So similarly to that, our main goal right now is to just increase outreach and knowledge of the food bank. Honestly, for my freshman and sophomore year, I had no idea that the food bank was a thing. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know it existed. And that really should be common knowledge for students, faculty, and staff. In order for this to be a resource that is used, you have to know about it. So our goal is to basically just increase common knowledge of it. So talking about it, making sure that people know, and we're really trying to start that kind of at the bottom. So letting freshmen really know about it. We're going to be going to a lot of freshman classes and kind of increasing knowledge, because you can spread it as a freshman, start spreading the word, and then you'll know about it for the next 4 years and be able to continue to communicate about the food bank for the next 4 years that you are a student. So our goal is to just make sure that everyone knows about it and people know that this is a free resource that is for all. Also, I realized I sent the Twitter social media tag, and I'm going to send the Instagram one too.
So Real Food Rebels kind of came about because through my job at the Office of Sustainability, we all, like my bosses and I, kind of realized that there was this gap at Ole Miss in terms of what other universities were doing in terms of food policy and what Ole Miss isn't doing / could be doing. So the organization kind of just came about through like the goals of the Office of Sustainability and wanting to like expand knowledge and expand student engagement in this issue. And I also forgot to mention this in talking about membership roles, but one thing that this organization will do is just meet probably on like a bi-weekly basis, like once every 2 weeks, and like watch a documentary or talk about an article that came out, or have like a local farmer come in and talk to us. So it really just, we want to see our members engaged in this community, and we want to see like a growth in that sort of the passion surrounding food on campus and in our communities.
So our organization just began in the last 3 years, 3 or 4. So new members have the duty of keeping this organization going for years to come. We are also a small organization with less than 50 members. There are many improvements that I see that I think can be made and that I'm working on while I have this leadership position. But I'm sure anyone who joined would see much more and see ways to make a large impact in this organization through campus and community outreach, by doing larger donation drives. And also, as a new member, there are opportunities for leadership roles, even as a freshman. If you're interested, please reach out to us. We have an Instagram, and I'll comment the handle to that also. We're on the forum, and if you don't know what that is yet, I'm sure you'll hear all about it soon. Almost all the campus organizations are located on there, and you can just request to join, and we would love to have you.
All right, thank you so much, everybody. Just one final question for our panelists before we turn it over to our participants and attendees to see if they have any questions for you all. But is there anything else that you'd like to add? Maybe anything that you weren't asked or something that you didn't get to hit on in this session? I guess you can think of this as maybe your closing statement for the afternoon. So feel free to take it away if you guys have anything else you'd like to add.
Yes, thank you all so much for coming today. I know you had to take some time out of your summer, but if you have any other questions or like to join, you can go ahead and email me at my personal email. I'm going to drop it in here, as well as we have an Instagram. You can follow it. It's kind of misnamed right now as CAC Ole Miss. We're looking into changing it. Like I said, we literally just changed names this week. But as well, we're on the forum, and I'll drop that in the comments as well. Thank you.
So for LAMBDA, I just want to add that we have like a really great group of people, both as members and then also grad students who are leaving. And it's really been nice to see people grow throughout the years. So we've had like members who started with us as freshmen and have been able to provide support to younger members almost as, you know, oh, you're in this class. Okay, well, this is what you need to do. And, you know, this is what you should do in terms of like your homework, or this is a class or professor you should sign up for. So it's been really special to see a lot of these relationships and friendships and support develop over time. So if that's something that you're looking for and you're a member of the LGBT community, please feel free and email us and join our organization.
I just want to thank y'all for all logging on and hearing about all of our organizations. It's been really cool to hear about everyone else's different organizations and what they're passionate about. I just wanted to encourage you to please volunteer with us or use the services of the food bank if you need to. We're located in Kennard Hall. Kennard is kind of close to the Rebel Market. It's up the hill from the Rebel Market, Papa John's, the RH2s and 3s. And yeah, if y'all ever need anything, please reach out to us on social media.
Yeah, echoing what everyone else said. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day. It means so much for you to hear about our organizations. And we're excited to have you start at the University of Mississippi and see what you guys do. But yeah, I sent my email address and the Instagram, and the Instagram has a link to a Google form if you're interested in joining, and we have a membership email. But yeah, thank you for your time.
Following up with that, I'm so glad that y'all are already interested in getting involved on campus as freshmen. That's a huge step, and it makes you so much more thankful for going to Ole Miss and the great community that we have here. This is a great opportunity to meet people with similar interests as you. It's a laid-back environment to meet older students like myself who have taken the same classes and can give you firsthand advice from experience. As with many organizations, I really recommend getting involved in something. So let me know if you have any other questions.
All right, thanks everybody. We're going to take the next minute to wait and see if our attendees have any questions. Attendees, if you do have those questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or DM me privately and I'll ask the question for you. So we'll take the next minute to do that. All right. If you guys do have any questions after we log out of this session, feel free to email us at getinvolved@olemiss.edu, or you can reach out to any of the individuals that were here today and their organizations if you want to learn more about their organization directly from them. So again, thank you so much to all of our wonderful panelists. Y'all did such a great job. Thanks for joining us today. And don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need anything else. Thanks, everybody.